Welcome to the Independent Schools Equity and Access Fair. I am Jessica and I'm your facilitator. I have a few housekeeping announcements for you. If you just give me 1 second. So just let you know that your cameras and microphones are turned off, so the presenters cannot see or hear you. If you have any questions, you should absolutely ask them in the Q&A section. Type your questions in there and they'll be able to answer them right in that section. There are other sessions happening right now and actually after this session. So make sure you go back to the website, log back in and sign up for another session after this. This session is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Westtown. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We have some fantastic schools today. So first up, we have Bard College.
Thank you, Jessica. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. And for those who have never met me or maybe have never had a tour at Bard, my name is Chase. I'm one of the admission counselors at Bard, as well as the equity and inclusion liaison. So I connect students to different sorts of equity and inclusion opportunities and scholarships. For the purposes of this 6-minute session, I'm going to focus on sort of the physical space at Bard, the sort of academic structure at hand, and also in terms of applying to Bard overall. So just going to go through the slides. So you can kind of see the campus layout. We're located in Annandale-on-Hudson, New York, which is about 2 hours north of New York City. There's a train, as you actually in the photo, you can see the train line that can get you into the city. So if you ever wanted to get into the city, you can always do that. It's 1,000 acres, but the population is quite small as it's a small liberal arts college. It comprises of about 1,900 students in the college. And so a lot of it is scattered in different sorts of ways. We're kind of immersed in nature right off of the Hudson River and kind of owning all of this land and using it in different sorts of ways. As you can see, we have some 1.5 acres of Bard farmland that we use. About 20,000 pounds of our produce going directly into the dining hall. So the physical location is very important to us as much as the academic structure of it as a whole. So in terms of our academic structure, you're going to hear a lot about the interdisciplinary role of what you learn while at Bard. We have about 5 major programs, including interdivisional programs. But I like to think that all of our programs are completely interdisciplinary. And that's to say that when you're studying biology, you're also recognizing the historical factors behind at which maybe an investigation of an outbreak might also require you to understand the history behind the region of the outbreak and who's impacted most by those outbreaks as well. You'll also see on this slide that we have interdivisional concentrations. And that's synonymous to what's considered minors at maybe other institutions. But the reason why which they're called concentrations and a bit more different than a minor is that we try to make it a lot more interdisciplinary in nature. So for example, you might see mind, brain, and behavior in which a student might be asking themselves, what makes a thinking thing, or what constitutes a mind? And to answer that question, you might really reach out towards computational science, neurological science, and philosophy of mind altogether. So as you can imagine, they're going to be crossing a lot of different programs in order to get at that question. And I think that also kind of gets you at the crux of what we're trying to foster as an environment in terms of interdisciplinary learning. In terms of academic structure as well, we also have what we call our 5 Bard pillars. And so our 5 Bard pillars, you can imagine, are ways in which when you get into Bard, you actually start off with a writing workshop in which we prepare you for all of the different skills that you'll need in order to be successful at Bard. And then as you progress in your later years, you're going to narrow your scope a bit more, and then a bit more, and then a bit more until you finally reach your senior project, which is going to be you utilizing those critical skills in order to create the project that is most meaningful to you. So in terms of our actual first year experience, you actually get to engage in the first three BARD pillars that we have. So language and thinking is a 2.5-week pass or fail program in which you spend 2.5 weeks. Instead of doing an orientation, you spend about 2.5 weeks with a writing workshop and learning really what it's like to write well at BARD. From then on, you'll matriculate into your your first semester, and you'll take first year seminar, which is kind of a sequence to language and thinking in which you're writing your first college level papers. You'll have first year seminar in your first and second semester, and that's the only general education course that we actually require of you. And then within the middle of your first year, you'll take citizen science, in which you're actually learning about scientific literacy, no matter what major you are. From there on, you're going to kind of continue throughout BARD and go through a process of declaring your major, which is moderation. And you're going to be working with a series of different sorts of faculty and thinking about really what you want to do with, say, psychology, for example, and then how you're going to mold that into a specific question and how you're going to research that through what's ultimately your senior project, a year-long thesis-like project where you're searching a question and really doing your due diligence of what it's like to be an academic and answering that question for the entire year. So with that said, in terms of the social and academic environment, we have lots of different clubs and activities. Of course, engagement is very important to us. So if you're interested in the Sunrise Movement chapter, politics, or just the surrealist circus and trying to just make the college a lot more exciting, that's something that we definitely look for. We do have some unique ways in applying that I'm happy to talk about later, but for the purposes of this session, I think that is all.
All right, thank you so much. So next up, we have Vassar College.
Okay, so I was trying to decide if I wanted to show you all some pictures or not, or if you just will look at my face, and I'll go ahead and show you all some pictures. So you're just not looking at my face. So I first will introduce myself to everyone. My name is Durham. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions here for Diversity Outreach. And I'll allow my colleague to introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to see you all. My name is Sam. I am an admission counselor at Vassar, but I also went to Vassar. I was a low-income student when I was there, and the fact that I was low-income was a big part of the reason for me choosing Vassar. And I graduated in 2016 with a degree in cognitive science. And Donnell is going to be your guide today, but I'm just here for backup.
Okay, so to tell you a little bit about Vassar, and I'm going to be going through the screen as I'm talking. So Vassar is located right here in Poughkeepsie, New York. If you've never heard of Poughkeepsie, Poughkeepsie is literally about an hour to an hour and a half right outside of New York City. So not too far from New York City, but also not in New York City. So if you kind of enjoy the hustle and bustle of the city, we're a train ride away, not too far away. In terms of our campus here, we are a small undergraduate focused college. So we have about 2,500 students that attend here, and they literally are coming from all over the world. And of our students here, 36% identify as students of color, and about 14% are first in their families to attend college. We have about 1,000 acres of land. One quick fact that a lot of people don't know about Vassar is that we actually have a farm right here on our campus. And there are tons of benefits that come from having a farm here on our campus. For the good of the order, though, I really do want to speak to our unique kind of academic curriculum here. And we have something that's called an open curriculum, which basically means there are no core classes that you have to take. There are no general education requirements. So you really do have a lot of freedom and autonomy to kind of craft your own academic experience. With that said, we do ask all students to do 3 things: take a first year writing seminar, take a quantitative course, and quantitative does not necessarily mean it has to be a math course. It literally can be anything. We even actually offered a course last fall called Polling Numbers that are connected with elections. And as you all remember, or hopefully you remember, last year, we was in the midst of a presidential election. So this was very popular with our students here. And then lastly, we ask all students to take courses in a foreign language. By the way, I know you all can't respond to me, but I was asking you in Chinese if any of you all can speak Chinese. But we offer Chinese here, we offer French, we offer Spanish, we offer Arabic and Swahili, and the list goes on and on. Another aspect about Vassar that really makes us unique here is something called our intensive program. And our intensive program is really an opportunity that we give for students to kind of take what you learn in the classroom and directly do something with that outside of the classroom. So I'll give you one quick example. As you heard me mention this a little bit earlier, we have a farm right here on our campus. So one intensive that we offered is that we had students who were on our farm trying to document and digitize all the different species that exist on our farm. And if you think about that, that's not really something you can do from inside of the classroom, right? You kind of have to get outside the classroom, get your hands dirty, get your feet dirty, but it's one way of how students are taking what they learn and actually doing something with it. And I think the cherry on top of the cake there is that we actually give you academic credit for having an actual outside of the classroom experience. And so Vassar not only values learning inside the classroom, but also very much values learning outside of the classroom as well. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here now. Oh, I am doing something different that I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna share just a couple of other things and then allow Sam to talk here for a little bit. The other thing that I think really makes Vassar different is that we have a commitment to meet the full demonstrated need of all admitted students. And so financial aid is not something that students have to be worried about as it relates to attending Vassar. The other thing that I will mention is Vassar has tons of resources of support here. We have a unique program here called our Transitions Program, which is for students who are coming from all different backgrounds, but primarily for students who are first in their families to attend college, students who are undocumented, or students who are coming from low-income backgrounds. And it's a 4-year comprehensive program to ensure that whatever you need to be successful here, that basically we have an entire center here that is geared towards meeting that need. Would love to kind of answer any questions if you all have any specific questions for us, but I'm going to pass it off to to my colleague to just tell you what his favorite kind of parts were about Vassar as an alum.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that I really enjoyed about Vassar when I was a student here. If I had to pick one, it would be the really high level of academic curiosity. You know, there are a lot of schools with a high level of academic rigor, and that's definitely true at Vassar. But one thing that I think Vassar does really well is encourage an environment that's very open, non-competitive, geared towards learning, but not just learning about the thing that you're studying, like the thing that you're majoring in, but also learning about lots of other pieces of information that are in other fields. It's very common for students to spend a lot of time, especially because the open curriculum gives you a lot of flexibility. Students spend a lot of time taking courses in a really wide variety of departments and have lots of really interesting conversations with their peers, with their professors about all the different things they're studying. One of my favorite parts of being a student at Vassar was I was often having arguments, or very respectful arguments, but discussions with my peers about what I was learning, what they were learning. I even had arguments and discussions with my professors, which was something that I really enjoyed. But just that level of academic curiosity and discourse and discussion was something that I really enjoyed about Vassar.
All right, well, thank you so much, Vassar College. So next up, we have Cabrini University.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gabby Manji. I'm one of the assistant directors at Cabrini University in Radnor, Pennsylvania. I'm really excited to be here. I'm super excited to talk about Cabrini. So let's just jump right into it. So Cabrini University, a little bit about our history is we were founded by the Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. We are a Catholic school. We welcome students from all faiths, all backgrounds. What we do have from our Catholic founding is that students take one religion course. It doesn't need to be Catholicism or Christianity. It can just be religion in the workplace, or it can be religion and society. But what is really important for us is that students understand that their place in the world outside of being professionals and students is also to help serve other people, help improve their environment where they live and where they work. So I'll tell you guys a little bit more about it, but our motto is to offer students an education of the heart. So again, more than just the ABCs of chemistry, the ABCs of computer science, but also how to be a holistically well-rounded individual and a servant to mankind. So fast facts about Cabrini University: we have over 40 majors, 10 minors and concentrations. We have 3 schools where we divide our majors. We have the School of Arts and Sciences, the School of Education, and the School of Business and Professional Studies. We are located in Radnor, Pennsylvania, which is called the main line of Philadelphia. So we're only about 12 minutes away from Philadelphia. We have a shuttle that's completely free for students where they can take the shuttle right at Cabrini, get dropped off at one of our nearing train stations, and they're easily able to mobilize to Philadelphia, to New York City, to Washington, D.C. So students get to enjoy a closed, beautiful environment on our campus, but they're also able to go and enjoy other activities without the need to have a car on campus. So a little bit about Cabrini's honors program. We are looking to, as I mentioned, educate students holistically. Our honors program is something that we pride ourselves on, that allows students to take academically rigorous classes, get to know other students who are also very academically inclined as well. It has its own merit scholarship that's affiliated with it. It has a learning community. Cabrini University offers learning communities for students so that their very first year, they're able to know like-minded students, even if it's not something that necessarily deals with your major. We want students to be able to know other people who have similar interests and start building those communities right on campus. And they also have, for example, outings, not just taking classes together, but also having those extracurricular connections as well. A little bit about life on campus. About 86% of our first year students live on campus in any of our residence halls. They can be your typical doubles, single rooms, as well as apartment style. And as I mentioned, the Learning Communities program, which is an award-winning program, is designed to help students build those connections right from the get-go. And it's a one-year program, so it's only for first-year students, just so that they get to establish that family right on campus. A little bit about continuing life on campus. We have 19 Division III athletic teams between men's and women's. We love to win, of course. So we're actually #1 in men's lacrosse for Division III. Just this past weekend, men's soccer won the East Atlantic Conference for soccer. And then another team won, I can't remember right now, but I was just like, go Cabrini. Of course, always cheering on our teams. We do have different study abroad opportunities as well. Whether it's one whole semester or just a short experience, which is 2 weeks before or after the semester. These are programs that students work with their advisors on selecting so that they can match up with their curriculum and students can still graduate on time. A little bit about our application process. I'm going to leave this up here because I'm running out of time. What I would really love to talk about is Cabrini's mission to educate students holistically. Like I mentioned, our motto is to offer you guys an education of the heart. So students take 3 courses. They're called Engagement with the Common Good. So students are going to be able to mobilize not only within the classroom, but also in the neighboring communities and even abroad. So for example, one class that's local, the students love to, the criminology students are typically the ones most interested in, but it's called Inside Out, which is a class that students actually take in a neighboring county's jail. So students are able to come into the facilities and take classes alongside people who are serving time there. And it's a very, very respectful opportunity for students to not just read the books about criminal justice, but also get to learn in community and in a respectful setting. So that's the way that Cabrini University likes to educate our students. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So next up, we have Georgian Court University.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Priscilla Alisea, and I am the Assistant Vice President for undergraduate admission at Georgian Court University. My goal this afternoon is just to hopefully get you interested in Georgian Court, given that I only have 6 minutes for my presentation. If you have any questions, do please feel free to put them in the Q&A. So a little bit about Georgian Court. We are located in New Jersey. We do have a 156-acre campus, which puts us centrally located between New York City and Philadelphia. We are 10 hours from the Jersey Shore. We have a total of 2,200 students, but 1,700 of those are at the undergraduate level. Our classes are fairly small. We have a faculty to student ratio 1:13. We are a Catholic institution, and we are under the Mercy Order. So our Mercy core values are very important to us. They include respect, integrity, justice, compassion, and service. And you can certainly feel these Mercy core values throughout our campus. We have 4 schools at Georgian Court. We offer the School of Arts and Sciences, which offers majors like your typical biology, chemistry, psychology, social work, criminal justice, exercise science. We also have a School of Business and Digital Media for your traditional business programs like accounting, finance, marketing, and management. A School of Education, depending on which level you want to teach at, whether it be pre-K or high school. And then we have the Georgian Court Hackensack Meridian School, Health School of Nursing, which offers a BSN, probably our most popular program, followed by our School of Education. Our nursing program is a direct entry nursing program. We have wonderful organizations on campus and resources for students to be successful. So if you are a New Jersey resident, for example, we do participate in the EOF program. We also have the Learning Connection for students who may have different learning styles. We try to educate our students to become leaders, and so you'll see that we have a variety of leadership organizations. In addition to academics, we do offer a variety of other programs around campus. So we do offer quite a robust study abroad program. You can see that students can do a full semester, they can do a faculty-led program, they can do a summer abroad, or just a volunteer abroad program. We do have a university honors program where we do have certain academic requirements. However, that university honors program also comes with an additional merit scholarship if you decide to participate in it. Career services, full-fledged, beginning with your freshman year. And you'll notice that 92% of our graduates are in a major related to a job or in graduate school within 6 months after graduation. We are fully residential. We guarantee housing for 4 years. We have 4 residence halls on campus. We also guarantee parking, and we are co-ed. So even though we were originally a women's college in 2013, we became co-ed, and our residence halls are also co-ed. We have over 50 clubs and organizations. We know that academics is not all in developing you as a future student and leader. So we offer a variety of clubs and organizations, whether it is pertaining to your particular major or your particular interest or your talent. So anything from our dance team to multicultural organizations to student government. We are NCAA Division II, and we have 14 programs for both men and women. Men's soccer is probably our powerhouse sport, as we have a nationally ranked men's soccer team. You see that we have some accolades prior to the pandemic, and we're slowly getting back to having a successful season. Georgian Court also offers merit aid depending on your high school profile. We have scholarships that can range from $6,500 all the way to $19,000. We do offer need-based financial aid, and we only ask students to file a FAFSA. Again, if you are a New Jersey resident, you may also qualify for TAG. And then we also welcome students to bring in any type of outside scholarships. You'll see that Georgian Court is an institution that is very affordable. If you were a regular student, not nursing, your total package is about $46,000 per year, and that includes tuition, room and board, and your fees. If you decide to major in nursing, it is a little bit higher because of all of the lab associated fees. We do not have an application fee. We are part of the common application. Again, that's all we require students to submit. We don't require test scores unless you want to major in nursing. You will receive automatic scholarship consideration when you apply, and we do have a rolling admission policy. So once you submit your application, we receive all of the credentials, which would be your transcript and 2 letters of recommendation. We try to get a decision out to you within 3 weeks, so you don't have to wait until the spring to be notified if you're going to be admitted or not. We welcome you to visit us. We have walking tours Monday through Saturday. We also offer certain instant decision days where if we have all your credentials, we'll provide you with a decision on the spot. We also encourage you to sign up to receive additional information, and we'll keep you abreast of all of our programs throughout the year. But we certainly encourage students to visit us. Like I said, we are about an hour from New York City and about an hour from Philadelphia. If you have any further questions about Georgian Court specifically, I'd be more than happy to answer them in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. So next up, we have Johns Hopkins University.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Calvin Wise. I serve as the Director of Recruitment from Johns Hopkins University, and I'm happy to be here to meet with you all and share some information about the institution. So Johns Hopkins University was established back in 1876 as the nation's first research institution, and we've led the way in research spending for almost 40 years. And this is our mission. Our mission is to create new knowledge for the world. It is bold, it's ambitious, but it's what we set out to do across our campus, and our students are an important component to that. And I think a lot of students kind of know Hopkins for the research, but what I think kind of underscores that research mission of creating new knowledge is our curriculum and the in-class experience. We have over 50 majors, almost 50 minors at Hopkins, and we have an interdisciplinary approach to education. So about 65% of our students double major or major and minor. We have 2 schools. We have a School of Arts and Sciences and a School of Engineering. But the academic boundaries are pretty fluid, which I'll talk about. And we have a pretty nice balance. About a third of our students have a primary major in engineering, about a third in humanities and social sciences, and about 38% in the natural sciences and mathematics. And I'll talk a little bit about this as well. The diversity of our student body and our community as well ties back to that university mission. And one of the stats here is about 49% of our students in our School of Engineering identify as women. So a little bit about the curriculum, as I mentioned, and again, we believe strongly that innovation happens at the intersections of disciplines. And so no matter what your major is, you're going to take classes across all academic areas, the humanities, social sciences, engineering, and the natural sciences. So as you see here, you might take humanities classes in Italian and food, social science classes like rumors, conspiracy. And one of the things to note about these classes is that there are some classes that count for engineering or natural sciences, but we also have some classes that are cross-listed, like this one on the environmental hazard and health. So the classes sometimes count for multiple majors. We provide an opportunity for our students to explore all of those throughout their time. And no 2 majors are going to have the same classes over 4 years. So I think that interdisciplinary approach is what our students really enjoy and is a big part of your undergraduate experience. As I mentioned earlier, the diversity of our class is integral in regards to our research mission. It's important for us to have students that are coming from different lived experiences and backgrounds. So you'll see here about 16% of our students are first generation. You'll see the race and ethnic diversity broken down here. About 20% of our students are Pell eligible or coming from families with limited financial resources. And so that's important to, as we think about addressing the world's most difficult problems, ensuring that we have students that are coming from a variety of different backgrounds. 98% of our students have some type of pre-professional experience. And so whether that is research or internships, here on campus, throughout the Hopkins network. Hopkins is actually the largest employer in Baltimore and one of the largest employers in the state. So we have a lot of connections through our network as well as through the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. But we like to couple that in-classroom interdisciplinary experience with hands-on research and internships. And as I mentioned, Hopkins, we have about 5,300 undergraduate students, only about 2,300 grad students at the Homewood campus, where you'll spend your time for 4 years, but you're connected to this larger Hopkins network, which includes the School of Medicine, the Bloomberg School of Public Health. We have a School of Advanced International Studies down in DC, the Carey School of Business. We have the nation's oldest music conservatory, the Peabody Conservatory, as well as the Applied Physics Lab, which is out in Laurel, Maryland, where oftentimes students are doing internships or even being employed. They do a lot of work. APL does a lot of work with NASA and the NSA. So some great opportunities, particularly in STEM out there at the APL. Here's a snapshot of the campus. As I mentioned earlier, we are in Baltimore, about 3 miles from downtown. And so you have this really nice residential campus feel. It's 140 acres, a lot of green space. You really can't drive through our campus. You have to park your car usually in the garage under the admissions office and walk around. But we're part of Baltimore City, and we have a lot of opportunities for our students to explore different neighborhoods and take advantage of those opportunities. I've mentioned this already. We have about 5,300 students at the undergraduate students on our campus, over 350 student organizations. Here's some information about how we support students after they graduate. Over 100% of Fortune 100 companies have employed Hopkins grads. We do a good job preparing our students going off into medical school, law school, and graduate school. But we take a very individual approach, particularly through our Life Design Lab, which is our career center, to help students figure out their paths or multiple paths for them as they're looking towards life after Hopkins. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our wonderful financial aid philosophy in this session. We are committed to bringing the best and brightest students from all around the world, regardless of their family circumstances. So our mission is to ensure that finances is not a barrier in attending Hopkins. We meet 100% of students' need through our need-based financial aid. So basically, we calculate what your family can pay, and we take care of the rest. We are also a no-loan school, so we do not include loans in your financial aid package. We have 2 resources below, the My Intuition Quick Cost Calculator, as well as a net price calculator, where you can put your family's financial information in to calculate your expected family contribution to get a sense of what Hopkins can cost for you. And that's it. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, thank you. And so next up, we have Wheaton College, Massachusetts.
Give me 1 second here. Awesome. So hi, everybody. My name is Victoria Rose. I am Senior Assistant Director of Admission at Wheaton College, and I work with all of the students coming from Pennsylvania. So in a nutshell, Wheaton is a small private liberal arts college. We are home to approximately 1,700 students coming to campus from across the country and around the world. Just over 10% of our students are coming to campus from international locations. We are completely undergraduate focused, and with the average class size between 15 to 20 students, courses are generally discussion-based and seminar style. All of Wheaton's courses are also faculty taught, with about 90% of our students having their doctorate or terminal degrees. In terms of rankings and recognition, we have been placed in the top 50 among national liberal arts institutions by the Times Higher Education and Wall Street Journal. This is actually one of my favorite rankings because it focuses on student satisfaction, not only the satisfaction of current students, but also of graduates to get their insight on how Wheaton has prepared them for life after graduation. We are also recognized for several other aspects of the Wheaton experience, including return on investment, our science facilities, our diversity and inclusion, promoting gender equality, and the number of graduates that are receiving Fulbright scholarships. We are located in Norton, Massachusetts, which is one of the top 10 safest cities in the United States. We're about 20 miles north of Providence, Rhode Island, and about 35 miles south of Boston. We like to say this is kind of the best of both worlds in terms of being able to access two of New England's largest cities via the train station, which is about 10 minutes from campus, while also enjoying our beautiful, safe, and residential campus. So our campus spans about 400 acres, and it gives a very traditional kind of New England feel, as you can see from some of these photos. In terms of aspects that really help to differentiate Wheaton from other small liberal arts institutions that you might be looking at, one is our Compass curriculum. So Wheaton's Compass curriculum is unique in that it is almost entirely open, which promotes a high degree of flexibility. Students work closely with faculty and academic advisors to craft an educational experience that is unique to them, instead of simply completing a standardized set of general education requirements. In terms of the general structure to our curriculum, there are only 3 requirements. The first is a connected first year experience course, which is a really interdisciplinary course. The second is a sophomore year experience course, which will be experiential in some way, whether that is through an internship, research, study abroad, and then the third requirement being the major. We also have a number of optional components, including honors programs. And with over 100 programs between our majors and minors, double majoring is a very popular option. About 25 to 30% of our students do double major. Right now, our top majors include business, biology, and psychology, just to name a few. Another unique aspect of Wheaton is that we guarantee all of our students a funded internship or research experience by the time they reach their senior year. This is called the Wheaton Edge program. And 2 big promises come through the Wheaton Edge. One is that you will have a meaningful experiential learning opportunity by the time you reach your senior year. And 2, that opportunity will be paid. So if your internship sponsor is not paying you, you will be compensated directly by the college. So the average 8-week summer internship is compensated with a $3,000 stipend. As far as residential life on campus, about 96% of our students do live on campus, and we do guarantee housing for all 4 years. We have 19 residence halls, including traditional residence halls and suites, as well as 16 student-run theme houses. There are singles, connected singles, doubles, triples, quads, suites that hold 4 to 6 students, as well as specialty housing such as wellness housing. As far as campus life, because so many of our students do live on campus, they really take advantage of the opportunity to immerse themselves in campus life. So we do have over 100 student-run clubs and organizations, intramural and club sports. And then as far as varsity sports, we do offer 21 Division III varsity sports teams, and about 25% of our students are student athletes. We are a member of the NUMET conference. As far as outcomes, our students do extremely well after graduating. 97% success rate within 6 months of graduation. I do like to point out that 16% going on to graduate school, that will actually increase to about 50% within 5 years of graduating. Nationally, Wheaton is also consistently ranked as one of the top student producers of the Fulbright Scholar. And in the last 20 years, Wheaton has had over 250 students who have gone on to participate in some of the most prestigious programs, including 3 Rhodes Scholars, numerous Watson, Truman, Marshall, and Fulbright recipients. We have a number of ways that you can interact with us virtually. Feel free to scan this QR code. We do have virtual information sessions as well as in person. We have a virtual tour as well as in person, and then we also offer optional interviews and conversations. So thank you.
All right, thank you. If I could ask all my presenters to come back on the screen, I have a few questions to ask you so you can impart some wisdom and additional wisdom to our group here. So the first question I have for the group is, what advice would you give to someone going through the college search process? And we'll answer in the same order we presented.
So I'll start. I'll say something that actually one of our students mentioned to students participating in our equity and inclusion scholarships. which is be focused, be present, and take up space. I think this is a perfect opportunity for introspection and recognizing how, in some cases, whether your strengths or sometimes what you see as adversities can be recognized as true ways in which you can contribute to a wonderful campus life and to a diverse campus life as well. So that's my answer.
I'm sorry, and I believe the question was, what advice would we give to students in the college search? Is that correct? Yeah, I think my advice, and I'll give you some context. I was first in my family to attend college. And so my advice is ask every single question that you are thinking about to any college that you are thinking about pursuing. So let me give you all a little story to back that up. So I transferred. I first went to one college, found out it wasn't the right space for me. And then 2 weeks later, after I got to that first college, I was like, oh my God, I made the wrong choice. I need to leave. I didn't leave until the end of the year, but then I started to ask questions all the time. So much so that I called one particular college so much that they knew my voice. When I said hello, they knew. They was like, Donnell. I was like, yes, I'm calling with another question. So I say that to say that you won't know if you're making the right decision unless you first are getting your questions answered. So my best advice to you all is ask every question, even if you're like, you know what, I'm looking at this school, it looks like that I may not be able to get in. That was me. I called and asked, what can I do to increase my chances? So ask every single question that comes to mind. That's literally what we're here to do, is to meet your needs and to answer any questions that you have for us.
Hi, sorry, technical issues. So for me, very similar to Danel's answer. So I always tell students, remember that you guys are the sailors of the ship. It's not us, it's not your parents, it's not, your teachers. Always remember that it's you who has the power. And I know I can feel hard because the admissions offices, it feels like we have so much like power over like your application and will we admit you to our school? But at the end of the day, I always tell students, everything is happening so that you can make the best decision for yourself. You're the only one who knows your goals. You're the only one who knows what environment suits you best. So always remember that you're the sailor of the ship and we're here to work for you and not the other way around. So always feel free to, like Danelle said, ask your questions, shoot us your email, DM us. We're in this job because we love talking to you guys, not because, we love driving so much. We're definitely here to support you guys during this journey. So always, always, always trust yourselves and shoot us those questions.
My advice would be to keep your options open and to have an open mind as you go through this process. There are a lot of colleges and universities across the US and even internationally. And so because you haven't heard of an institution, it doesn't mean that it might not be the right fit for you. So I always tell students, it's great to have, the institutions on your list that you've heard of, and that perhaps your friends may be going to, or that your parents or other family members may have gone to. But keep your options open and just explore all of your possibilities.
I would say that this process is a marathon, not a sprint. So breathe. Don't allow college to take up every day of every week, of your life. And so I think creating space for the college process, identifying time, being efficient with that time, and then kind of compartmentalizing and putting that away. You want to enjoy your high school experience. And there's a lot to kind of do in this college search and application process, and you don't want to burn yourself out too early.
My advice would be very similar to Priscilla's as far as keeping an open mind. So try to visit a variety of different institutions. You may have an idea in your mind about what you're looking for, but you never really know until you go and check it out. So, visit a small school, a medium-sized school, a large school, a private school, a public school. That way you really get a feel for the different options and can make the most educated decision.
Those are all wonderful answers. We are just about out of time. So I want to thank all of our panelists for being here today. And also want to thank you participants for logging in to be here to hear this information. I hope you were paying attention. They gave some wonderful information. So make sure you're doing that. Okay, so in 15 minutes, there's another session after this. So go back, log back in, jump back in to learn about more schools. This is important. We're here. When you leave this session, you're going to hit end, you're going to leave. There's going to be a 5-question survey. Make sure you fill that out. We want to get your feedback. Keep that in mind. Also, this session has been recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Westtown. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.